If you want to see my answers to the evaluating my palette collection tag, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène with another video, and this is my take on the evaluating my eyeshadow palette collection tag. This tag was created by Rachel Stephanie. I will put her picture right here. And she is a YouTuber that I quite like. She is known for using the you-know-what out of her palettes and has spent a year working on the Jaclyn Hill 35 pan palette. That was quite a feat. I take my hat off to you, Rachel, because that is amazing. And I do highly recommend that you take a look at her channel. Her channel link and the link to her video is in the description box below. I think she has great answers and great rationale for her answers. And so, Rachel, you have set the bar very high. I just want you to know that. So I hope you enjoy this tag. You'll see a few other tags coming up over the coming days. This just feels like a tag weekend, and I'm just rolling with it. I have a ton of updates on the No Buy and a few other projects that I've been working on, and I have been overwhelmed a little bit in real life, and I just want to make sure that I am good and ready to offer some long overdue updates. So please bear with me, and I will be back in full force at some point to be able to give you those updates. For now, let's get into this tag, shall we? This tag is short and sweet. There are only 8 questions, so hopefully I can get through this really quick, give you a little fun video and a little bit of information, thoughts to chew on. So let's go right into question number 1. What was your first eyeshadow palette? I have talked about that eyeshadow palette on this channel a number of times. I'm going to put a picture right here. It does not have a name. It is from a Canadian brand called Quo, and it had, trying to think, I think 25 plus, it had well over 30 shadows. It had 4 blushes, I think, a whole tray of at least 16 lipsticks. I'm going by memory. The picture speaks for itself. And I used the heck out of the golds and the lighter colors in the palette, as well as a few green shadows that I was quite fond of. And definitely the rose gold and the peach shimmer were very, very well used. And I used that palette for a decade. And you'd think, well, how can you use a palette like that for a decade and not have a bunch of shadows missing? The reason being is I could not wear makeup very often, and there's a whole video on that, and I will put it right here if you want a little bit more information on that. I will not repeat myself. I will save you the trouble. All right, so that is the first palette I ever had. Moving on to number 2. Which palette do you use most? Well, like Rachel, I have a Pan That palette, and I will show you that one, and I will also show you another one that I use quite a bit and explain in a second. Here is my Pan That palette, and it is the Smashbox Matte Exposure, and you will see I have quite a few fully uncovered bottoms of pans, and I've got this one I'm working on right now. And this is indeed the palette that I use virtually every day. I have used the color tonal to set my eye primer today, but because I'm panning this one, of course I'm using it virtually every day because I'm trying to get through it. So it's not a great answer to the question because it really should be for a palette that I'm reaching for on a regular basis just because I want to. And so the default is going to go to the Morphe 39A. And I wish I could show you that palette in its full form, but it has been depotted. And you, if you do watch this channel on a regular basis, you would be seeing this palette all the time. Why? Because the shadows, at least 32 of the 39 shadows, I use very regularly in my Quad of the Month series. And let me show you the quad for August so that you can get a sense of what I'm talking about for Quad of the Month. And here is the quad for August, and you'll see 4 shadows in here, all of which are from the 39A. And this is the 8th, obviously, 8th month, August, 8th quad. This is the 8th quad that I have put together, and it's all been Morphe 39A shadows and a few Annabelle shadows, and Annabelle is a Canadian brand that I have some singles of. I'm planning on incorporating more different palettes that I have depotted, but I've been enjoying having so many of the 39A in this Quad of the Month for now. And so this year, other than my Pan That palette, the Morphe 39A is indeed the palette that I'm using the most. And the colors are, a lot of them are absolutely beautiful. And I've had a few comments throughout the various videos saying, those are Morphe shadows? Yes, ma'am, or sir, these are Morphe shadows. And so this one, I haven't started using it yet, but I am looking forward to it big time. So yeah, Morphe 39A, who knew? Question number 3. If you had to get rid of one right now, which palette would you choose and why? That's an easy one for me. It's the MAC Shiny Pretty Things eyeshadow palette, I think it's called. This is what it looks like. I was very unimpressed by this palette, and it absolutely cannot be the quality of regular MAC shadows. It's horrible. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible palette. And here's a swatch of one. This is the one that is the most redeemable from the whole palette. And it's not, I'm not super impressed by it. I have some much better shadows. I think this was a quick and dirty palette for holidays, which I find disgusting when companies do really cheap, poor quality products for the holidays, because this has really tainted my view of MAC. And I was looking forward to trying the formula because I keep hearing how great MAC is. This stinks. It's terrible. But because it's the only MAC thing I have, I'm keeping it around at least for a while. But I'm in no hurry to try more from MAC. This is really unfortunate, especially since MAC, the origins of MAC are in Canada, and I would love to support the brand more, but this was kind of a slap in the face as far as a palette for the last holiday season. And yeah, I'm miffed. Hopefully the next question will be lighter and more fun. Number 4, do you have a deep emotional connection with any of your palettes? Which one and why? Talk about a heavy question, but I do have an answer. I am going to consider this duo a palette, and it's a set of 4 Aftershock shadows, and they really don't show on camera. I'm really sorry, I can't really give you a really good view. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to swatch a couple, one from each, some of my favorites. So this is High Voltage. It's a lime green base, and I'm also going to swatch Fuse, which I also very much like. And hopefully those swatches will show on camera a little bit more. So this is the lime green and this is the pink. They are beautiful highlighter colors that when I put them on the inner lid to center lid on a look, I almost always get a comment or a question to know what the heck is on my inner lid, because they are so, so, so gorgeous. And my emotional connection on this is twofold. First off, it was a recommendation by LS, who is a YouTuber that I very, very much enjoy on this platform. And then the other reason is that it's from Clionadh Cosmetics. These quads are from Clionadh Cosmetics, and I have some more shadows as well from that brand. And I have a connection to the brand because the 2 owners, 2 sisters, are, I think, sisters. I don't quote me on that. family members, two family members, and I just don't know if they're cousins or sisters. I can't remember. I am so impressed with their communication to their customers, their desire to make really great products, and their pride in running a company and running it well. And it's an indie company. I'm super, super, super impressed by them and will continue to support them as much as I can. Given that it's an indie company, the individual shadows can be relatively expensive compared to something like a buck a shadow from Coastal Scents or the equivalent from Morphe, that kind of thing. But the quality is so, so, so good. And I would put Clionadh Cosmetics shadows against any formula across any brand. They just make top-notch products. So yeah, there's emotion there. So that's, maybe it's an unusual answer, but when I think of a real connection, it is Clionadh Cosmetics. And let me just show you a little bit more from Clionadh since we are talking about Clionadh. These are the shadows that I have from Clionadh at this point. And the colors are just amazing. These are highlighters right here, including these big ones. No, not these two, but these down here and along the edge here. And I don't know if the colors are coming through on camera. Look at that yellow, right? Look at that yellow. It's just, they're just absolutely beautiful, and every time it just makes me happy to look at them. They're just beautiful shadows. Okay, number 5. If you've watched a lot of videos on this channel, you might suspect what the answer would be to this question. It is, which palette was the biggest waste of money? Here we go. The Pat McGrath, and I can never remember the names of these. This is the Bronze Temptation. Can we take a moment to gripe about the packaging? The packaging. And the fact that the names are on a plastic and not on underneath the shadows. I expect that from Morphe. I don't expect it from a $70 palette. 6 shadows, $70, and none of them blew me out of the water. And you know what? I'm going to swatch one as I lose the plastic. I'm going to swatch Supernova next to that Morphe shadow, and you tell me which one's better. Here it is. Which one do you like better? This one's $1. This one's $13. 12? Yeah, about 12. $1, 12. Tell me, which one do you like better? And to Pat McGrath aficionados out there, I understand you like the aesthetics, you like what she stands for, everything. I'm just saying. So I gave it a good college try. I used all of the shadows, all sorts of different ways, and meh. If anything, I was really annoyed at the price. I didn't pay $70, I paid very close to it. It was 20% off. So 70 minus 14, 56. I paid 56 for this. So it's a little less than $10 a shadow is what I ended up paying. But the regular price is 70. And I ended up, you'll see behind me, that there are actually 2 back there, 2 more of these. But I ended up getting them for half price because they were clearing them out. So I got 2 palettes each for $35. So I decided to get a couple more so that I could see if there was anything to this Pat McGrath, because I don't want to chastise a brand 100% for one palette. One palette can be lousy. Although there are plenty of people singing the praises of this one. I'm not sold. I don't get it. And if you are a Pat McGrath lover, if you want to help sway me, I am all ears. I would love to understand what you see in this brand. The only other one that I'm interested in of hers is the Mothership 5, because I keep hearing over and over and over and over again how amazing that is, and if you're gonna get a 10 pan, that's the one to get. But other than that palette, I have pretty much written off the brand. Like I said, I have those other two palettes to try, and I think at that point I'll decide whether or not I want to give that Mothership 5 a try, assuming it's still available. I'm not waiting with bated breath to try it though. How's that for a rant? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. If I'm gonna spend 70 bucks, I'd rather get 3 Juvia's Place than this one. Okay, I'm done now. Number 6, which palette was the biggest surprise to you? For example, that you ended up loving more than you thought, or not liking as much as you expected. That is an easy one. I did not think I would like this palette at all. It came on as a sale item on Sephora. I had never tried Huda Beauty before, and I thought, let me give this Coral Obsessions a try. And it looks like this. Holy cow, is it beautiful. Just this red won me over. Just, it's beautiful. And the yellow is quite opaque. I put this red all over my lid in the first look. I can put that video right here. I was blown away. It is gorgeous. It is so beautiful. And I thought, well, you know, 35 bucks. If I don't like it, whatever, not a big deal. And these two duochromes, gorgeous. And like I said, I love this yellow. And really, you know that new is it Sunset or Sunrise? I'm not sure. The brand new Natasha Denona. I'll put a picture of it right there. I'm not interested in it. I feel like I've got these colors. I feel like I've got a beautiful combination in this palette, along with some other colors that I have access to, some yellows from, for example, Cleona. I feel like I've got the color scheme that I would be getting out of the new Natasha Denona palette, and also some beautiful pinks and purples from the Morphe 39S. And I did swatches for that palette recently. I'll put them right there. Yeah, this is a little gem, nine pans, right? Yeah, 9 pans in a tiny little package, but it packs a punch, and I'm so happy that I pounced on it when it was on sale. And actually, I didn't pounce on it. I hemmed and hawed and finally just said, oh, just try it. You've never tried anything from the brand. And I'm so happy I did. Now, let's go to number 7. And number 7 is, do you have a palette you never reach for? Which one and why? Right away, I thought of this one. And it is the Physicians Formula. What is it called? It's like glitter strip something. And they're all metallics here, and they look beautiful on the inner lid. Beautiful. So when I want to think of a palette where I can have kind of a dramatic inner to center lid, this would be it. And they look so good, but I never reach for it. Here's 3 of them. They are very pretty. I mean, look at this one, right? They are so pretty. And they really, you know what? They make me think of the Marc Jacobs Leopard Frost as far as the metallics. They're very similar, actually, now that I look at them. And every time I swatch it, I think, why do I not use this more? Let me just swatch the gold, too. Gold is a really small pan in here. Every time I swatch it, like I said, I wonder why I'm not using it more. The gold is up at the top, but my skin is shiny, so I don't know if it's showing up that much. It is really, really pretty. And in person, it's very, very, very shimmery. And again, I don't know if it's showing up on camera. But I don't know. I kick myself because I should. And one thing to know about the shimmer strips, if they're still available, look at this brush. It actually is a really good brush for picking up product. Let me just see if I can give you a better swatch using the brush. Maybe that will do the trick. Don't know if, oh yeah. Yeah, you can see the gold more. So I guess the sponge tip applicator is good for this one. But look at the color, right? Beautiful. I don't know if it's coming through. I think it's beautiful. Anyway, so that is the one I don't reach for enough. And like I said, on a regular basis, when I take a look at it and swatch it again, I go, why don't I use this? It's so small that I don't see a reason to declutter. And I was actually thinking this morning that I should really bring it with me on my next business trip and just use it, just like I said, for the inner to center lid. I think it would be beautiful. Last question. Do you have any palettes where you love all the shades? Why, yes. Yes, I do. Okay, I'm going to show you two of them. I could show you a few more, but these are definitely my top two where I look at the palette and I think I love all of it. One of them is the Queen of Hearts by Colored Rain. It's gorgeous. I appreciate every single one of these colors. Every single one of these colors, when I have used them in looks, I have appreciated them. Every single one. They're just beautiful. They're beautiful on their own, but the curation of this palette is absolutely top notch. And the sleeve it's so gorgeous. And next is a palette that is no longer available, and it was the Ciate Chloe Morello 2, Volume 2, and that was holiday 2017. It's been a while. Anyway, this is what it looks like on the outside. And when I played with this palette, I think I said something to that effect when I reviewed it. There's the Ciate, the brand new focus on Ciate. I'll just put the video right here for you. I like all the shades in this palette, all of them. They're all beautiful. Every single one of these. And can we take a moment for this Chartreuse? It's beautiful. I really, really love this palette. I really do. I have no problem. If I only had this palette for a month, I could keep doing fantastic looks. I would be going after each one of the shadows, doing all sorts. I would never have the same look on my eye. There's just so much potential in this palette. I'm really, really happy that I have it. So that's it. My answers to the 8 questions. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have not done that tag yet, I tag you officially to do it. And if you don't have a YouTube channel, please leave some of your answers down in the comments. I would absolutely love to read them. And I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. But for now, take care.